I still remember the day she walked into my life. It was a Tuesday, just like any other. But from the moment I saw her, everything changed. My name is John, 33 years old, and a nurse at St. Mary's Hospital. Life was steady, predictable even. Work consumed most of my days and nights, and when I wasn't in the hospital helping patients, I was visiting my mother in the countryside. I didn't mind the long hours or the quiet life. After all, there wasn't much else waiting for me at home except an empty apartment and the sound of my own thoughts. But then there was Emily. She was a new transfer, an intern who had just completed her medical training. I noticed her immediately the moment she stepped into the hospital lobby. Emily, 29 years old, with long auburn hair and eyes that sparkled even under the harsh fluorescent lights. There was something about her, something magnetic. She wasn't just beautiful. She had this energy, a fire in her that lit up every room she entered. From that day on, it was impossible not to notice her. She was smart, driven, and kind to every patient she treated. We started crossing paths more often. Casual conversations in the break room turned into longer chats. She had a way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room. Before I knew it, I was seeking out moments to talk to her, just to feel that warmth she radiated. It didn't take long before our connection deepened. One evening, after a grueling 12-hour shift, she caught me as I was leaving. "John," she said with a smile, "you look like you could use a drink. Care to join me?" We went to a nearby bar, and what was supposed to be a quick drink turned into hours of conversation. We talked about everything: our jobs, our families, our dreams, and our fears. She told me she felt alone in the city, that she was still trying to find her place. I told her about my quiet, uneventful life. Felt good to open up to someone, to feel connected again. From that night on, we became inseparable. We spent every break together, went for walks after our shifts, and she even started coming over to my apartment on weekends. It was effortless, easy. Emily was funny, compassionate, and more than anything, she made me feel alive again. I hadn't felt this way in years. I was falling for her hard, but just as quickly as it had begun, cracks started to appear. It was subtle at first, an unanswered text here, a missed call there. But then Emily became distant, distracted. She was still sweet and caring, but something was off. I chalked it up to stress from work, but deep down, I knew there was more to it. One night, after she canceled our plans for the third time that week, I couldn't take it anymore. "Emily, what's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "You've been different lately. Is something wrong?" She looked away, avoiding my eyes. "John, I didn't want to tell you like this," she started, her voice shaky. "I've been seeing someone." My heart stopped. What do you mean?" "I'm involved with someone else," she said softly. "His name is David. We've been together for almost a year. I never meant to hurt you, John. I thought I could keep things separate, but..." "Separate? What do you mean by that?" I could feel my voice rising, the betrayal burning in my chest. "You've been lying to me this whole time?" "I didn't know how to tell you," she said, tears welling up in her eyes. "I care about you so much, John. I didn't plan for this to happen, but it did." I stood there, frozen. Everything we had shared, every moment, every laugh, it had all been built on a lie. I had been so blind, so caught up in my feelings that I hadn't seen the truth right in front of me. "Why didn't you tell me from the start?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "Why did you let this go on?" "Because I was confused," she admitted. "I didn't want to hurt either of you. David and we've been having problems for a while, and when I met you, it felt like an escape. But I couldn't let go of him either. An escape. That's what I had been to her. Just a temporary distraction from the problems in her life." I turned away, feeling sick to my stomach. How could I have been so foolish? Emily reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "John, please. I didn't want this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you. I don't know if I can believe anything you say anymore." "Emily," I said, my voice breaking. "You played with my feelings, and for what? To make yourself feel better." She was crying now, but I couldn't find it in me to comfort her. I had been shattered. In the days that followed, I tried to make sense of everything. The anger, the betrayal, the sadness, they all mixed together, leaving me numb. I thought about confronting David, telling him everything, but what good would that do? It wouldn't change the fact that Emily had chosen to betray both of us. I withdrew from her completely, no longer able to look at her the same way. The hospital felt different, colder. The lightness she had brought into my life was gone, replaced by a bitter emptiness. Months passed, and slowly I began to heal. I threw myself into my work, trying to forget. But every once in a while, I'd catch a glimpse of her in the hallway, and the pain would resurface. She had made her choice, and I had made mine. We were on different paths now. If there's one thing I learned from all of this, it's that love can be blinding. You can give someone your heart, but if they're not ready to accept it, you'll end up broken. It's better to walk away from the lies and the half-truths than to stay trapped in someone else's confusion. Emily was my lesson. A painful one, but one I needed to learn. And as I move forward, I carry that lesson with me. To never settle for anything less than what I deserve.